unpossessing correctly. And the big problem with that will be replicating over a network, which I've seen several problems over. But if you want a really, really stupidly basic version, it's pretty much the same thing as with our grappling hook and stuff, you know. Get world rotation, get world location, do the start and end. Make sure that your single line trace for object is chasing or checking for pawn. And then break hit result, cast a first person character. In this case it was first person character, but it would be, you know, casting to whatever character you want to be able to possess, and then just possess it. If that makes sense, let me know. Okay, and let's see. Now, I made a promise, I plan on keeping it. Meshes, we're going to go with first person cube, create destructible mesh, and let's bump this up to 75. Hopefully this will not break my computer. And as you can see, it's already ready to break. Bloop. Break the bush. You want me to break the bush? Oh my god. Fine. I will break the bush. Though I don't know. I wonder if you can use... Alright, well we're going to find out if I can use this bush inside of my static mesh here. Or blueprint. Well, I'm still going to break the bush. I'm going to do it. Even if it's not inside of that, I'm going to break this bush into 75 pieces. Fracture mesh. There is bush everywhere. There is so much bush. Okay. Damage spread. We need no damage cap. Where is chunk? No, not chunk parameters. We need to make sure that it can take impact damage. And let's see. Impact damage is 1. Default impact damage depth. There we go. I have no idea if this is going to work this time. Let's drop it from a high place. I'll be running with my box. Okay, I will explain cast 2 in just a second to Cure a Passion. I want this damn bush to break. This is going to happen. 0.1 damage threshold. Okay, so we're gonna do 5 for that. And let me make sure that it's over here in front of me. Ha! It broke. Now, let's make it more fun. I don't like that one. I want it more. Let's see. Okay. We're not going to start awake. Instead, it's going to be awake on impact. Go back to my blueprint. And we're going to get rid of this, or we're going to shrink the cube so that it's not quite so overwhelming. Okay. And the last thing we need is to re-hook up our shooting. Enter, resets, open, close. Compile. So now... Ah, that's overlap. So... radial damage 10, damage radius 100, get location. Sorry, I'm going through this just a little quickly so we can blow this thing up as requested. Okay, well, fine. We'll do this. Event hit. Radial damage 20. Hit location. I'm okay with going a little over. Damage type. I mean, it breaks already. I'm just trying to make it break more. There we go. So I've got it set up to where if I just run into it, it explodes all over the place. Just, in fact, let's go ahead and get a few more. There we go. So if you ever needed a bush that just exploded randomly, that works. Okay, now that we got that, hey, don't hate my. yeah, I just don't feel like fucking with the projectile right now. God, I've got that set up on my side scroller character, but we'll worry about that some other time. Okay, now to explain casting. When you cast to an object, what you're basically doing is asking it what it is. So, let's say you cast to first-person character. Whatever you're checking, you're asking if it is first-person character. If it's not, then you're going to do through the cast failed whatever you're looking for. If it is, you do whatever you set up through that. So, a good example. Let me pull it up here, and I'm going to post it. There was a old post I made that did a pretty good job explaining it, and I don't remember the exact wording I used. Let's see, cast to, there we go. It was on the forums. Oh, why? There we go. Okay, so right here. It's in the archive, so unfortunately you can't look it up directly. You have to look it up through the documentation. But if you scroll a little down the page, you'll see where it says Adam Davis, and it's a pretty good example. I'm going to read through it just so that I don't have to try to remember everything. Think of casting like television actors. We can use Firefly for an example. Nathan Fillion, an actor, is a parent class over the acting role, Pawn, of Malcolm Reynolds, a character, and can therefore cast to Malcolm Reynolds. While Nathan Fillion does not have a gun, Malcolm Reynolds does, and he can then easily cast to Malcolm Reynolds to get it. Kaylee is not directly connected to Malcolm Reynolds, so she would have to find a way to reference Malcolm Reynolds. Then she could use that reference to cast to Malcolm Reynolds and tell him to use the gun. Now, let's say we have multiple Malcolm Reynolds in the same environment, but Kaylee wanted to use a specific one to shoot the gun. That's where for each loops come in. It checks the array, casting to each Malcolm Reynolds, which gives Kaylee access, the access she needs to get a specific, for the example, let's say Malcolm number 2, mouth to fire. Even further, the cast to on an array of all actors in the show would allow her to specifically target Mal instead of River or Shepherd Book. So, no, I'm not going to use time tracks, Hobson. This is my stream, and Firefly is acceptable on my stream. Not only is it acceptable, it's encouraged. So, shiny. So, hopefully that helps. If you need further assistance with casting, I can try to change it a little bit. I don't even know what time tracks is now that I'm thinking of it. You got me all fucked up. Let's see. But yeah, casting, it's a way for blueprints to communicate between each other so that they can get specific information. So like, if one object needs another object's location, you would cast to that. You would cast to it and then determine its location, or whatever. Hey, IRTech, you're not wrong. I love Firefly. It's one of my favorite shows. But it's like, if you need to use functions that are inside of other actors, or you need specific objects within other actors, it's a good way to communicate between blueprints to get that specific information. Is kind of the short version. Yeah, it's 13 episodes because Fox was stupid and canceled it instead of letting it go on for the glorious many seasons that it should have been. But yeah. Alright, we have reached the end of the stream, guys. If you have any other questions or anything you want to talk about later, email me on the Unreal Zombie Bear Gmail account that's listed in the information below the stream, or you can post on my Twitter or ask on the forums. There's a lot of ways to get a hold of me, to be honest. But if you want to talk about stuff for future streams or anything like that, I am more than happy to incorporate anything. If you have any constructive criticism, or just want to say, hey, fuck you, I don't like you at all, whatever, I'm gonna stick around and chat for just a few minutes so I can answer more questions there. But otherwise, good night, guys. And next week, I didn't mention this live stream last week, but next week I'm only doing a stream on Friday, or on Wednesday, because on Friday Avengers 2 comes out, and I am going to the show for that. So I won't be doing a stream next Friday, but I will be doing one on Wednesday. So come out to that one if you can. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and you guys have a great evening.